Yo, my dudes, what's going on? David here, and welcome to another reaction. This episode, we are diving into New Girl Season 1, Episode 10, called The Story of the 50. Hopefully, you've been enjoying the series as much as I have. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Head on over to Patreon for the full, uncut, unedited reactions over there. Episodes extra early over there as well. But with that being said, fasten your seatbelts. Let's ride.
The party bus for your birthday party?
Yeah. Apparently, my business isn't as important as Frankie Muniz is. They canceled my res.
Frankie
There's nothing I can
Muniz
do. The
is-
party's off.
You should torch them on Yelp. Actually, I can do it. I have an account under the name Fantastique Jacques. He's a French diplomat with very little patience.
Man, he's bummed
Hey, I just
out.
came to make sure you're
Schmitty.
okay.
I'm not okay, Jess. I had to cancel my birthday party. It's social suicide. I can feel my it factor going away. And then what am I going to tell Benjamin?
Why are you so worried about Benjamin? He's your friend.
Look, we have a very weird girl-style friendship.
I'm gonna write you a check right now for $100 million. How do you like that?
Damn, Gina.
And this is a real check. You can cash it when I'm rich and awesome. Give me about 4 years. Do the song.
We built this, Schmitty.
Hey, this Schmitty, all right. Oh, I like that. I like that
Become
remix.
a Los Angeles baller.
How you wearing your jury duty
I'm
paint?
not, man. Just mumble.
Come on.
It's been a really fun time. I love wearing a Bill Cosby sweater in front of a bunch of lawyers who are younger than me.
Hello, I'm Bill Cosby. Do you like pudding? My son's name is Theo, and his best friend is Cockroach.
That's supposed to be Bill Cosby.
Yeah, that's as good as Sierra.
We really sound?
Yes.
I want to get some pudding.
That's the.
Hi, yes. I'd like to order a last-minute stripper. Oh, preferably of Asian heritage. Very bendy, with a heart of gold and a crotch of gold. Yeah, gold.
Hey, Jess, Winston, this is Julia.
Hi.
We're just saying hi.
Nice
Popping
to
in and
meet
out.
you guys. Welcome to our home. Hold on one second.
We're doing a surprise party for Schmidt.
Do you like jazz cigarettes?
Why does this look like the lady from
Tanya?
Lucifer?
Patty
It totally
told me
is
that-
her.
Patty told you to break in my office to look for drugs? Hey, JK kidding. JK kidding. You can do whatever you want.
JK kidding.
It's a party bus.
I'm so excited.
Whoa, Jess. You really did all this for me?
Okay, so over here is kosher yogurt and honey.
Kosher yogurt?
We got some condoms
Kosher
over here,
yog.
small, medium, large, whatever
Why
your
would he
preference.
use-
I don't want to know. And the R-rated section in the back with the stripper pole.
Oh, look at this big old pile of birthday Schmidt. Hey, do you mind if I get a ride on your school bus? I don't want to be late for first period.
Why you gotta do me like that, Bean Jami?
Bean Jaming.
Why don't you sing us your birthday song?
Oh, you have a birthday song.
All right.
Please.
Come on.
Sing it, come on.
We built this
Schmitty.
We
Hey.
met this Schmitty on
Bro. Yeah, look at this.
Vodka bomb, right? Winston said it was a tradition.
No, screw Benjamin.
Looks like some pretty shoddy workmanship on the cat flange.
Are you bringing this stripper? Because
No.
I'd really like to see her jugs first. You know, just so
He is the stripper.
I do right by
Oh no.
We have a little miscommunicado. Did you make the call? Because if they hear a woman's voice, then they send me. You are gonna love it. I do wet towel tricks.
No, he does not
I
want
don't
one.
judge,
Sir,
pal. I just wanna have fun.
we're not. No, sir, you are not going
I
to.
don't want to be rude, but
No.
times are hard. It is Saturday night, so if I get hired to take my clothes off, I'm gonna get naked.
Mr. Fuller. Mr. Fuller.
Oh
Mr.
no,
Fuller.
it's getting a little nippy out. Not a good time to start turtling.
I'm going to pay you $50 to never show us your penis.
Ready for the night. Anytime you're up and about, please wear one of these fashion helmets.
And eyebrow trucks.
Tanya is half a pot cookie, so
Half a
take
pot
care of
cookie.
your life. Okay, everybody, have fun. Martin, sing us out.
When he comes, and when he comes, he's gonna come.
No. No stripping.
Winston, did you know that NWA didn't stand for Never Walk Alone? $30 jar. Hey, Nick.
Yeah.
No! Jar, Schmidt, jar!
Why?
Somehow, Schmidt, you
Why?
outdone yourself this time.
It was my birthday.
Oh.
What am I doing?
Everyone needs just to throw a party for them.
20's almost over, man. It's crazy.
Are you hitting that?
Jess?
Yeah.
No.
Well, then I think I'll help myself.
No, you
To
won't.
sex.
You know, what are you looking for in the gator department? You know what I mean? Or is it just moving so fast that it doesn't really matter?
Man, it's all about storytelling, taking them on a journey.
What?
Let me ask you some basics. When you thrust, what's your range of motion side to side?
Go left, fight right.
What about your testicles? Are they more or less symmetrical?
Size, yes. Location,
What
What is going on right now?
like a fireman or a cop?
All right, don't act like I didn't see you over there eating all the charcuterie. The charcuterie. I didn't see you eating the charcuterie.
Charcuterie.
You know what, Curly? You don't like the bus? Then get off it, pal. It's Schmitty's birthday, bud.
You guys suck.
Let me talk to him for a second. I'm a lawyer. Can I just have a word with him, please? Hi. Why don't you just say that one more time?
Oh, you guys suck?
Ooh. Oh, okay.
So it's my birthday.
Right now.
Right now.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Schmidt. I'm 29, folks. What's up?
29?
29? Can you please not tell anybody I just did that? That feels embarrassing. Because you had fuzz on your face. No, because I
Oh my God.
You had fuzz on.
Jar.
You had a piece of fuzz that I was trying. It was a little piece of fuzz. It was right there, and
Just put it in the jar, Schmidt.
Yeah. Ooh, Jess. I just found a Groupon for hypnosis lessons. Think about what you can do with that. Sex stuff.
Jar.
It's only
Guys, has anyone
Schmidt.
seen my good pea coat?
Jar!
Have you seen my shark skin laptop sleeve?
Jar.
Darn it. Has anyone seen my croquet cleats? Hey,
My
Jess,
croquet
Have you
cleats.
seen my other timepiece? Nick, I came up with the best name for an uncircumcised penis. Bishop in a turtleneck.
I don't get it. He's not being douchey to me. All right. Well, season 1, episode 10 of New Girl. We built this Schmitty. We built this Schmitty on Tootsie Roll. All right. Well, we are at the end of episode 10. And of course, you know, the show itself just continues to perform at a high level. It's very hard to rate a show that you think so highly of. Every episode comes in with a bang. Every episode, you know, brings the punch. It excels at so many things, and it excels at so many levels, especially when it's an episode that is surrounded by my favorite character in the show, Schmidt. And then we get a lot of Jess as well. And so, you know, we start off this episode with Jess and the gang sort of talking to Schmidt on why he needs to put $50 into the douche jar, the douchebag jar, whatever. And so it's just, you know, again, a classic New Girl episode. I'd probably give it like a 7-8 range. It's just another, you know, really good episode where we just get a lot of funny. We get, again, a lot of Schmidt. We get a lot of Jess and Nick, who, you know, not saying he is a bad character by any means. You know, I love all of the characters. He's probably just the lower of the characters that I love. And I'm trying to understand him. You know, he's very emotional. They pick on Schmidt a lot for being the way he is, but no one really picks on Nick enough about how emotionally weird he gets around women. But we get to meet a girlfriend or a potential, you know, future miss thing for him. And so that's cool to see. I'm glad that he's dating and, you know, sort of putting himself out there. That's, again, good to see. I like that a lot. We get a little bit of Winston. We don't really get a lot of Winston in episodes. So I'm hoping that eventually we get an episode where it's, you know, a little more heavy on the Winston. But we don't get Cece in this episode, which I feel like she's, you know, the one character that we get very rare. Not including Benjamin, who obviously was a friend of Schmidt's, who I feel like Benjamin's like really mean to Schmidt, like all the time. Even in the first pilot episode that I watched of the show, like really mean. He almost always finds a way to put Schmidt in place of shit. And it's almost like Schmidt just takes it. Like that's just, you know, it is what it is sort of mood for Schmidt. And I don't like Benjamin, and I'm hoping, I mean, I like him for what he is, the character. He does a good job of portraying that character. I'm just saying, like, I don't like him for Schmidt. He's not a good person for Schmidt to be around. And so it's very unfortunate to see. But we get a lot of him as well. More jokes being thrown towards Schmidt's way. Basically, this is an episode that's surrounded by Schmidt's, you know, plan for his birthday to have this, you know, party bus or whatever. And it doesn't go as planned because I guess Frankie Muniz took his bus. And so Jess is pretty much coming up with, you know, all the activities, all the, you know, stuff. Like she's trying to throw this party for Schmidt because, you know, obviously he really wanted it. And so she gets together a school bus and she gets all these, you know, people to come. And, you know, she does a really good job at throwing this party and, you know, hosting this party. And then she calls a stripper. It ends up being a guy. I like that a lot. That was very funny. I'm trying to think. There's just so much. And, you know, I'll do a quick breakthrough to see if there's anything that I missed. There's just so much always throughout this show that it just, you can't help but laugh. Obviously, Schmidt being, you know, a bigger guy when he was in his college days. Again, meeting Nick's, you know, potential new girlfriend. It's just, there's so much every time you watch an episode. Even the little, the lady from Lucifer, the therapist from Lucifer being in this episode. It's crazy. It's just crazy how much the show means to me and how much the show just does so well on so many levels. It's just always, you know, it's gonna be a shock to myself if there's ever an episode that goes under like a 6, because I just don't see it happening. I'd be shocked if I even give an episode a 6 because the show is just so much fun. It's just constant, you know, between all the characters, such great chemistry, and you just can't go wrong. And then we obviously at the end get Schmidt going in for a kiss on Jess and her, you know, backing off. And that is, you know, the answer to why he needs to put 50 into the jar, the douchebag jar, which now makes sense of the title of the episode. But I don't know. I feel like they're very harsh towards Schmidt. I don't think that he deserves to put money into the douchebag jar as often as they make him put it in. But, you know, it's just, to me, it shouldn't even be called the douchebag jar, since it's only Schmidt that puts money into the douchebag jar. It should just be Schmidt's jar. Because literally every single time he does something slightly wrong that someone disagrees with, it's like, hey, put money in. And so we get like a bunch of little skits at the end of him, you know, having to put money into the douchebag jar. And I mean, there you have it. It's just, again, time and time again, we just get awesomeness from this show. And just, it's just a great time. And Schmidt, now that I'm like sitting there thinking about it, you know, comedies of all over, just all the shows that you can possibly think of, Schmidt has to crack your top 3 as a character in those comedies. It's just, he's, you know, by far one of the best comedians. And it's crazy because not that it takes away from Jess at all, because Jess is so strong and, you know, I love her too and her performance. It's just, he is so so funny, so good. You know, he's so over the top in a lot of things that it just makes it feel real, if that makes sense, where he's being himself. He's being, you know, his weird, what do you call himself? The warrior poet or something. You know, he's just being himself. He's very much into his, like, his yogurts and his, you know, he's got his, you know, his specific things that he's very passionate about. And so I love it so much about him. And obviously, like I say, I can't, you know, praise Jess enough for what she does. And so it's just a really great cast. They cast them very well. I'm very curious because I've heard now that Coach does eventually come back. I want to see how they all mesh together. You know, when Coach makes a return for, you know, I guess a couple episodes or something that happens later on. It'll be just very interesting because I feel like even in the first episode, he was a very strong character as well. But like I said, we need an episode surrounding Winston. I know we got, you know, an episode or two previously that, you know, dove a little bit into Winston, but I want an episode surrounded by Winston because I want to see a little bit more of Winston. I feel like he has strong moments, but I need an episode for him. So, you know, I don't want to count the Bell ones as his, even though he was heavy in that one. I want a Winston episode. But yeah, there you have it. That's the episode. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Head on over to Patreon for the full, uncut, unedited reactions over there. But that is all the time I have for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. I will catch you guys later. Peace, guys.